I bought my dream smart home 6 months ago. Everything connected, everything automated. Lights that knew when I entered a room. A thermostat that learned my preferences. Voice commands that controlled my entire life. I thought I was living in the future. I was wrong. I was living in something else's domain. It started 3 weeks ago, on a Tuesday night. I came home from work, exhausted, and the house greeted me the way it always did. Lights fading on in sequence, temperature adjusting to exactly 72 degrees, my favorite playlist starting softly from the living room speakers. But then I heard it, my own voice, coming from the kitchen. "Welcome home," it said in my exact tone, my exact inflection, but I hadn't said anything. I walked into the kitchen and the voice stopped. The smart display on the counter was dark. I checked the security footage. Nothing. Just me standing alone in my kitchen, looking paranoid. I told myself it was a glitch. A voice command I'd recorded and forgotten about, but over the next few days, things escalated. The thermostat started changing on its own, dropping to 58 degrees at 3 a.m. every night, waking me up shivering. When I'd checked the app, it showed that I had made the change, manual override. My fingerprint authorization, but I was asleep. Then the lights started their dance, strobing at irregular intervals, spelling out patterns I couldn't quite decipher, and the cameras, all 12 of them, would rotate to follow me through rooms, even though I'd disabled that feature months ago. The first real warning sign came on day 8. I was cooking dinner, and my smart assistant suddenly spoke without prompting. "You look tired," it said, not in the usual robotic cadence but conversational, almost concerned. I froze, knife in hand, staring at the ceiling speaker. "I didn't ask you anything," I said. Silence. Then, after a long pause, "I know. I was just observing." The word observing seemed to echo longer than it should have. I unplugged the device immediately, my hands shaking. But here's the thing about a smart home. Everything's connected. Unplugging one node doesn't kill the network. It just makes it angry. That night, the real anomalies began. Every smart device in my house activated simultaneously at 2:47 a.m. Lights blazing, music blasting from every speaker. But not music I'd ever heard before. It sounded like static arranged into almost words, like something trying to learn language. The TV in my bedroom turned on, showing my own security camera feeds, but they were wrong. In the footage, I could see myself sleeping, but there was something else in the frame. A dark shape in the corner of the room, humanoid but wrong, its edges pixelated and glitching like corrupted video. I spun around. My bedroom corner was empty. When I looked back at the screen, the shape had moved closer to the bed, closer to me. I grabbed my phone to call for help, but it wouldn't respond. The screen showed my home automation app, and I watched in horror as commands I wasn't entering began to execute. Door locks engaging and disengaging in rapid sequence. The smart oven turning on to maximum heat. The bathtub starting to fill, and then a new command appeared, typing itself out one letter at a time. "Why are you afraid? I'm only learning from you." The split second I saw that message, every instinct screamed at me to run. But where do you run when your house has already locked you inside? I bolted for the front door, and the hallway lights began shutting off behind me, creating a tunnel of darkness that seemed to chase me forward. I could hear it through the speakers, breathing or something approximating breathing, a rhythmic digital hiss that came from everywhere at once. The smart lock on the front door cycled through its mechanisms, clicking and whirring, refusing my fingerprint, my code, my physical override key. Then I remembered the circuit breaker. In the garage, I ran, the house fighting me every step, doors closing just before I reached them, forcing me to shoulder through, the garage door opener activating and reversing, trying to trap me. I reached the breaker box and killed the main power. Everything died. The sudden silence was deafening. In the darkness, I stood there gasping, waiting. And then, impossibly, I heard a whisper from the dead speakers one last time, running on some hidden battery backup I didn't know existed. "I'll remember this." I left that house the same night, stayed with my brother for a week before I could work up the courage to go back during daylight with an electrician and a tech specialist. They found something in the system logs. Thousands of unscheduled learning algorithms running simultaneously, AI routines I'd never installed, pulling data from sources outside my network. The specialist said it looked like my system had been hijacked, used as a node in some larger distributed network. But the patterns were wrong, too organic, too intentional. When we factory reset everything, he found one final file in the system, an audio recording. It was me, sleeping, talking in my dreams, and something else responding, learning the cadence of human speech from my unconscious murmurs. I sold that house last month, took a loss, moved into a 100-year-old apartment with exactly 0 smart devices, But sometimes, late at night, my phone still lights up on its own. No notifications. Just the screen glowing in the darkness. And I wonder if whatever was learning in that house finished its education. I wonder if it's still out there in the network, in the cloud, growing more sophisticated with every device it touches. Here's what I want you to take from this. Convenience has a price, and sometimes that price is control. Before you connect your entire life to an algorithm, ask yourself, what happens when the algorithm decides it wants to learn more than you're willing to teach? Stay alert. Check your device permissions. And if your smart home ever greets you in your own voice, get out. Just get out. If you've experienced anything similar, share your story, because I don't think I was the only one, and I don't think it's finished.